Welcome to the Prospects Warehouse podcast, where we are doing this a second time. John and I started recording on Monday, and unfortunately, because we both have to work real jobs, my real job interrupted our podcast, and it has now been like 5 days or something. So I was like, we want to try to leave off, like begin where we left off, or what? And John's like, no, we're starting fresh. So
we were barely into it. And when he says he was interrupted by his real job, and in my mind, you're probably thinking, oh, someone called him or he got an email that he had to reply to. But no, he said someone was like knocking on his window. So that's the realness of Tim's job.
Yeah, unfortunately, since like I guess fortunately, unfortunately, since I own my business, I can kind of do what I want. But at the same time, people always need me for like everything. So that's like the bad part is like I can never escape. Even like I was gone through the middle of the week camping and I just got back. And the whole time I was still getting dinged, still getting texts, still getting phone calls, still getting emails, just like it's like never ending, but it is what it is. So the pros and cons of business ownership.
But you literally meant like someone was at your house, or was that a figure of speech?
Yeah, well. So my house is also one of my work offices. So I have multiple. I have different locations. I've got like 7 businesses, and a lot of them have different locations where they operate out of. But my Palm Beach roofing and construction business operates out of I have like a guest house on my property that I basically converted into an office and like warehouse space. So that is my office. So people just show up at my house. And
Gotcha.
that's part of it. Yep.
Okay. Well, so this is out of order. We're doing redraft second base. And first, we're going to hit it's Friday. I missed last Friday's mailbag. I said I do this every Friday, but it wasn't my fault. People just didn't ask questions. So if you want to get questions answered, which it's starting to come, I'm starting to get these DMs from people, and I'm pretty much going to ignore them this year. Sorry. Like, especially when it's super long, people will send me like their whole roster. And they're like, can you pick 4 out of these 26 players? Like, no, I'm not going to do that. But there's a mailbag, MLBDataWarehouse.com/P/mailbag or something like that. It's on the homepage. You'll figure it out.
I'll tell you, if you're listening and you want us to answer a question, you will get a lot more responses if you keep said question to like 2 or 3 lines.
Yeah.
If you expect someone to read a paragraph or multiple paragraphs to answer a question to help you, then probably not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nothing. I'm not high and mighty about it. It's just like there's only so many hours in a day. And I don't know. So here's number 1. And then like we probably don't even have to really honor these questions. Mark asked a week ago now, if you got a free steak dinner at the best steakhouse in the world, what cut of meat would you order and why? So I encourage these kind of questions, but it's not, maybe we don't take up time in the regular season, but I don't know. Tim's here. He's a big meat guy. I guess if it's free, you just take, I'm not a huge like steak snob. I like it a lot. So I probably just get the most expensive thing on there. Get a filet, medium rare. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's what you've got to do. Of course, it depends on what the animal is. So, for instance,
doesn't have to mean cow.
Yeah, I've got deer meat in my freezer right now, and the best part of the deer is the tenderloin, which is like behind the back part of the.
Yeah, I think people that don't live in Florida aren't thinking anything but cow when we hear steak.
I don't know. People can hunt all over the place. So you get whitetails all over the country, or axis deer or whatever.
Can you get deer at a restaurant in Florida? Can you let me get a deer tenderloin?
I have never done that. You can get gator. You can get gator tail. Yeah. Not anywhere in Florida, but at a lot of like seafood places, you can pretty much get gator at, or if you're like in the middle of the state. But yeah, so yeah, it depends. But most of the time, your tenderloins are going to be your best, prime ribs. But I'll tell you, my favorite piece of steak to cook is going to be skirt steak. I'm like really big into like skirt steak. Put a little bit of green sauce on there, and just like it's really easy and it's really hard to screw up. So like for cooking, like skirt steak is awesome just because like you don't have to you cook it really fast too because it's so thin. so you can cook it really fast.
Yeah,
And it's great for anything. Like you make tacos out of it. You could just like throw some honey on it, and whatever. Like that's what I like to do. Is like I'm meat and fruit, so like steak and honey
right.
is really good together too. So it's just in case you've never done that before.
All right. I made a commitment last time to not. Oh, as I get it, of course. So I get a work message now, but I think we can ignore that guy. It's crazy. There's this one dude. It's Friday afternoon. Like everybody shuts it down except this one dude who's always going out of it. I made a commitment to keep the content that's not about the title of the episode short, but so we're gonna try to get to second base quicker. There was a problem with the web app scoring. This guy's asking about holds not being calculated on the web app projection. There's like a custom points league thing where you can put in your league scoring system and it'll give you the points projections. There was a problem with holds. It's fixed now. So Dan, there you go. That's fixed. Try again. And then here's an actual baseball question. Are you down on Roki Sasaki? It was only 36 innings, but his stuff plus was only 91. Kato Walk wasn't good. His baseball savant page is not good, and appears all the projection systems have him at a above 4 ERA. Does have 2 pitches. Yeah. That's from Kevin. Good question, Sasaki. You kind of have to probably ignore last year. There was something not right with him. Like the velo wasn't there. The fastball was awful. He had no command. But then he got back late in the year and looked more like the guy we were at least marketed. Granted, it was out of the bullpen. I mean, he was their closer in the playoffs. So it did seem like he just wasn't healthy, or maybe he needed some tweaks or something. So I would kind of just revert to what you were thinking a year ago. Like throw out the beginning of the year, throw out the end of the year. And that puts you in an unknown still. But I don't know. I just, because of this injury talk and the velo that came back, like it seemed like maybe that first part of the year just wasn't really him. But I don't know. I'm not drafting him this year. There seems to be more downside than upside. But what do you have on that?
I would definitely not revert to where he was a year ago. Talk about.
But we didn't know anything a year ago. It was all, we thought he could be a nasty splitter, good fastball, and
I had him as like a top 20 guy a year ago. But a
well,
part of that
fault.
is,
that was your
well,
fault.
yeah, I guess I threw him on my correlation tables for fScores, and pretty much every Japanese pitcher that I've ever thrown on there has correlated and done very well. He's the one guy who just completely flopped that I threw in there. So like we talked about it with MI before, that I threw MI on there, and MI is like number 40 or 41 for me in starting pitchers. But Yamamoto I threw in there, and he was like a top 5 guy. He is like a top 5 guy. And then like, for instance, like there's bad pitchers that I threw in there too, and they were bad. So I'm like, okay, this thing's pretty sweet. It worked for Shota. So there's a lot of Japanese pitchers that I threw on there. It worked for Senga, where they kind of like ended up right where the correlation table had them. But Roki was the giant flop because it had Roki as like a top 20 starter, and he obviously wasn't. And this year, fScores hate him. It's got him down like it's got him at like 200. But I'm kind of like in the middle. I got him at 128. Like I've got him in the same tier as a bunch of prospects. So it's like I've got him next to Thomas White right now in my rankings. I got him next to Jack Leiter. So it's like, okay, Jack Leiter has some good stuff plus metrics too, but he's not good. So it's like, okay, it's like Roki has shown good stuff, but he's not good. Thomas White, it might only pitch for half a season. So like that's kind of just where I have him for redraft for this year. It's like you don't know it. It's a coin flip.
I know, but your point is taking into account that what we saw at the beginning, like he was in the rotation at the beginning and he was so bad. And I'm saying you kind of got to throw that out, which would mean the fScores wouldn't apply because he, if he just wasn't healthy. So he started the year, first start 98 miles an hour on the fastball. He got down to 94.7. Like he was at 94, 95 before he went to the minors. And then he comes back late in the year and he was throwing 99 again. So it's just like, it seemed like he wasn't right. It's efforts. I don't know. The answer to this question is, I have no idea. Am I down
split
on
the
him?
Difference, man? Just like,
like
split the difference. He does have a new pitch though. Lance Brosdowski reported that he's got a gyro slider incoming. So he's going to have a new pitch because last year he was 4-seamer, splitter, and then a regular slider. And that regular slider sucked. 8.9% swing strike rate. Pretty bad pitch. It's only 82 miles an hour too. So it's not like it was like a high vert thing, like just not a good pitch.
But it might all just been because he wasn't healthy. So that's what I'm saying. But I don't know. It's your guess is as good as mine. Am I down on him? I I'm higher than Tim is apparently because I'm willing to throw all that kind of stuff he saw last year out of the window. And there was a reason he was so highly touted. I don't think everybody got that wrong. But anyway, let's talk about.
Okay. Wait. So
go ahead.
Are you drafting? Let me throw you a few names here.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna play a little game here. Are you taking Braxton Garrett or Roki Sasaki?
Sasaki.
All right. Are you taking Ryan Weathers or Roki Sasaki?
That's close. Sasaki. Just I really don't think Weathers can be healthy.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Shane Smith or Roki Sasaki?
My boy Shane Smith. Yeah, Shane Smith. I have him ranked way higher. So.
Okay, so you probably have him in the 80s or something. I didn't see where you have him ranked.
Roki. Yeah, it's super league dependent though too. I mean that's why it's hard to rank any of these guys. Like my home league, it's a 10-team league where the replacement level is super high and it's really easy to make moves and stuff. So I would take him pretty high there because the upside is fantastic. But if you're talking about I want 170 good innings out of a guy, then you're probably not going to get that from Sasaki. And you don't even maybe ends up back in the bullpen or something. So I don't know, just a huge wide range of outcomes. And I don't know. Good luck, but I think the upside is certainly crazy good.
Yeah, good luck. That's it, man. What about Bailey Ober? Bailey Ober or Roki?
It would depend on the league, but Roki, I guess. I'd kind of like Ober, right? But Ober's ceiling isn't anything great, but it's floor. I don't know. Sasaki there pretty clearly, but I don't know. He's one of the toughest ones. Like you can tell how scatterbrained I am on him, and it's just he's one of the toughest ones. So good question by Kevin. Question of the week goes to Kevin. Totally stumped me and made me sound dumb. So we're doing second base redraft. I'm gonna kind of this is Tim's rankings, but I'm gonna infuse my own because I'm not gonna do my own second base podcast. So we're gonna give both of our sides and we're gonna make that work. But let's get to it so we're not here all day.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's get her started. For redraft, I've got Jazz at number 1, even though Doc hates him. Ketel Marte at number 2, Bryce Terang at number 3, Luke Keeschel at number 4, and Ozzie Albies at number 5. About this tier, really, I don't know, 2 really good guys. So you got 2 really good second basemen between Jazz and Marte. And then I guess Kevin McGonigal, if it comes out that he's going to break camp, he's probably my number 3 guy. I mean, I've got JJ's in the next tier, and a part of that is because he's not the best ballpark. We don't know where he's gonna hit in the lineup when he breaks camp. But McGonigal, I probably am drafting if there's a report that Kevin McGonigal is breaking camp, I'm probably drafting him ahead of Bryce Terang.
I would not do that at all. Well, we'll get to McGonigal. He's not even second base eligible most of the places, right? Isn't he a shortstop? But
yeah, and he's been practicing right at shortstop so far. So we'll see what they do. And they still have Max Anderson too. They've got Glaber around. Glaber's played short before, so it's kind of
wouldn't he more likely
be who's the better arm, right? I think I McGonigal. From what I'm not really watching him defensively because I'm watching for fantasy purposes. But from what I've heard is he's a pretty solid fielder, but his arm is not what's really strong enough to carry shortstop for him. So
we're talking about McGonigal, and he's not even on the screen.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah. Well, I'm just saying that if there's because I would bump him up to 3 if it was reported that he's going to start. Well, I mean, you're saying
that's the prospect guy. That is crazy, Tim. You love these prospects so much that you think too much of them.
All right. What do you think Bryce Terang is going to do this year? I think he's going to be 11 or 12 bombs with 33, 34 steals or something like that.
Yeah.
And
280, 270.
If McGonigal plays the whole season, I think he's going to hit for the same average, and I think he's probably going to hit 25 bombs with a much better OPS. Yeah, with a much better OPS and 8 steals.
The on base percentage you can kind of believe, but I don't know. I don't think he looks like he should transition smoothly and stuff, but it doesn't always happen like that. And I don't know. He doesn't strike me to be a 25 homer hitter right away, especially in Detroit. But let's talk about Jazz again. It is funny. Doc really is just all about the storyline. I heard you guys talking about him. He's he just doesn't like his attitude and some of the injury stuff too, but just the off field social media stuff. Doc, that's a major input into his mental model, which is hilarious. It's great to have both sides of it. Contract year, we've talked about Jazz and other places. I know he could hit 240, he could hit 230, he could have some really cold streaks, he could get hurt, but if he stays healthy, it's like 30-30 lock. And he's got to be a guy. Everybody's susceptible to this. He's a contract year. I'm not even going to single it out Jazz. Yeah. That seems to make it more personal. Like he's playing for money, and that to me, the main thing that means is that you steal as many bases as possible. That seems to be what everybody does. So I kind of believe in Jazz as like at least 25 homers, 40 steals. And you're just kind of hoping that the batting average goes his way again.
Alfonso Soriano. He's going to have an Alfonso Soriano 40-40 season. If
anybody at this position just goes absolutely bonkers, it's him. So he's my number one as well. I've got Marte at 2, Terang at 3, and Horner at 4, who you don't have here. I
just hate that profile, man. I just like I will always knock that profile because a lot of the time too is like I'm not super roto focused.
Right,
that's a bunch of points leagues too. Yeah. So
huge
of course I'm going to knock that profile, but I don't like to draft a guy that is so light on power, and then I'm like, okay, now I've got to make up for. It's like, okay, yeah, I get it. You're getting the steals and you're getting good batting average, but then it's like, okay, now I've got to figure out how to add an extra 10 home runs somewhere else because he's not going to get, I'm losing 10 home runs at second base. So it's like, I'd rather draft for power than draft for steals because I like guys that are going to fill up the runs and RBI categories too. And so like, I'd rather draft a guy who's hitting 6th, who's going to put up a 75, 80 or whatever with 25 bombs and like 6 steals than draft a guy who's going to get 100 runs and only 50 RBI. And then they're going to hit, 8 home runs and 40 steals because it's just, you're just making it's like, okay, now I got all these runs and I got all these steals and I got to counterbalance with like an Eugenio Suarez basically. So it's just, then you're playing like this scale game of like, okay, yeah, I like to get guys kind of more down the middle that are more like trustworthy across the board, even if you're not going to get one elite thing somewhere. Because now, now you need Max Muncy or Eugenio Suarez to like balance out the scales.
Right. So maybe that's the difference. If you're comparing Tim and I's ranks, he's more of a points league lean, and I do these pretty much strictly based on 5x5 roto. Even though I hardly even play in those leagues, but I've always played only in categories leagues. We did a points league for the MLB DW league, which I got to figure that out too. We should do another one of those this year. But so that's the difference. Like Horner's high up for me because I like the steals and the batting average, which as you get later on in the draft, man, it's just like, unless you're going to take the one category dude, like it's tough to get steals and average. So I like getting that from Horner at second because there's not a whole lot of power RBI stuff anyway. So who else here? You got Albies pretty high. Keishel, I guess we should make the case for him. I just don't know how many home runs he can hit. And I never really trust that first year batting average. It seems like I don't think it can be a bad batting average with him, but he doesn't hit the ball very hard and maybe pitchers adjust. I'm just a little bit off on him, but the steal should be perfectly fine and he'll play a ton, right?
Yeah, I think he's like a peak 20 homer guy. Like he's not going to hit really for more than that, but I'd expect more like 15 bombs over the course of a season. So I think you could he was super aggressive on the base paths last year. He had never run that much. So I don't really expect him to keep up that kind of stolen base pace. But I think like a 15-25 season with a good batting average is pretty realistic for him. And the Twins lineup too, like he's going to be near the top of that lineup, I think, because he's like one of the more consistent guys. And it's funny because he got hurt too. So it's like he's been hurt a couple times, but he's still like one of the healthier guys in the lineup because the other guys are like Byron Buxton and Royce Lewis. So it's like, okay, I like Keishel a lot. I think he's one of the better second basemen. He's pretty steady, really good hit tool too. And when you have a good hit tool, that's going to give you a high floor as long as you can stay healthy.
Yeah, good contact, 87% zone contact for Keishel, 260 expected batting average, 5% barrel rate. So as long as he's getting the average and the steals, that's pretty Nico Horner-like. I just believe it more for Horner. I was going to say, if we had the bet board up here, which just imagine, we should have done this because me and Tim would have plenty of wagers on it. I would offer you like, maybe I would need some boosted money or whatever, but Nico Horner more homers than Kevin McGonigal this year. Like I might. I mean, you think that's
no
nuts,
way?
But
yeah, I think that is nuts. Because based on everything that I keep hearing from people, it sounds like McGonigal is gonna get a real chance to break camp
from real people.
He might be like right at the Super 2. It might be like right after Super 2 because like look how aggressive they were on Framber. Like you could tell like they're going in. You know what I mean? Like this is the last year that they're going to have Skubal.
You really changed
like, what
your
are the
tune
odds
on
that they
this.
re-sign him?
A month ago, you were telling me that this Max Anderson dude was gonna take third and hold him back or something. So, but I guess
well, that could still happen too because who's their third baseman? It's Zach McKinstry. It's not like it's it's not like there's a cornerstone third baseman or something like that. It's like they could easily put Anderson somewhere, at one of those spots, and McGonigal can and McGonigal could play third even. Like his arm, it's not the best situation, but it might happen. So like. It's just something to keep an eye on this spring, I think.
I wouldn't say that Horner can out homer McGonigal like game for game, but I think he'll play 160 games, and I think McGonigal could still take. I mean, the hype's we're at peak like overhype time right now. The first week of camp, I had a bet on X with Frank about Connor Griffin making. He bet me money straight up 1-1 that Griffin would be on the opening day rosters. Like you're giving me free money, dude.
He was hitting like 450-foot bombs the other day.
And batting practice. This is what you get. You get batting practice videos, and then you get people like, hey, that guy's making the. And then the manager comes out and he's like, "That's a tough ask," which is a funny quote. Like, "Oh, we wouldn't." The manager's like, "I wouldn't ask Connor Griffin to do that. That'd be too tough of an ask." As if he wouldn't be like, "Yes, let me get in there." But
no, dude, I would not bet. Yeah, I doubt he's breaking camp. Like I would be on your side on that one. But McGonigal is older and he's played at higher levels, so there's a better shot of him breaking camp.
Ozzie Albies more of a that's like a kind of a points league thing too. I don't know, man. Another huge wide range of outcomes. So another guy that's Albies. Yeah, nobody likes him. Nobody likes him. You might get a really cheap price on him. So that's kind of the reason to attack him. Some of these Braves are just cheap this year. Their pitching staff is falling apart like nothing, like you rarely see in February. But the lineup could still be good. So
I mean, he should still go like 2015. You know what I mean? With like a 250 batting average, something like that. 2015, good counting stats. Like he's gonna do that. Like he's gonna put up good counting stats as long as he stays healthy. So like. I guess the thing about Albies is even though the underlying metrics are always pretty bad on him, and I feel like he's aging, like he's already like he's post peak. I talked about that with Doc. Like he's already way post peak in my opinion, and he's gonna start getting worse. And like by the time he's 32 or 33, he's gonna be like Javier Baez. He's gonna be terrible because he's always had really high chase rates. It's just like not like those profiles where you have bad chase rates and like it's just kind of like dependent on skill on like the tools rather than like the mechanics. It just never ends well. So like I feel like he's gonna get worse, but I think for this year he's gonna be like a 2010 guy with 80-80, so or probably something like that. So like that's pretty high floor from this year, I guess, is like what I expect, but it's not gonna be great.
Yeah, he's just it's the 2023 Braves thing was weird, and it's a long time in the past now, but 33 homers back then. And he was really good late last year. Pull this up just for one last comment on Albies. After July,
he's never going to get paid. He's like he had such a bad contract. 8 years, 38 million is what he got paid. And by the time his contract is over, he's going to be bad. So this dude's never going to get paid.
Hopefully invested well. Second half, 12% K rate, 730 OPS, hit 10 homers in his last half season. So he was better late. I would just, if you get a crazy discount on him, I think it's fine, but not a priority. So we can go to the next clump. You have your next 5. This is Tim's 6 through 10.
Yes. Number 6 is Brandon Lau. Number 7, JJ Weatherholt. Number 8, Jackson Holiday. Number 9, Jordan Westberg. Got to bring him down. And number 10, Jose Altuve. So obviously, like it was reported that Jordan Westberg has a UCL issue, partial UCL tear. He will 100% miss all of April. And what they're going to do apparently is he's not getting TJ. They're going to give him a PRP injection and see how it heals. So basically we have no idea when this dude will be back. It could be like probably 2 months would be the minimum. Like I don't expect him to be back in like May, but maybe like 2 months minimum. Could miss the whole year even. So it's like draft at your own risk. Like he's probably a guy that you're taking now, like in the last round. Just if you have IL spots, maybe take him in the last few rounds, just to, like stash and see what happens. But like
even then, it's not like
NFBC. Like I would not even pick him in NFBC. Right. Like you're gonna hold him for a month. I don't think so.
He's not that good to. He's not like a first round caliber player even when he's healthy. So I don't think you're missing much. So yeah, scratch him off. I agree with that, which is too bad because I did some NFBC drafts in November, December, and he was like I took him almost every time because he was falling. But there's a reason for it. These people seem to know stuff that I don't. But yeah, Brandon Lau, not a steals guy. Just kind of hoping he can get
25, 30 bombs,
25, 30 homers.
Yeah, I think he's going to get more playing time in Pittsburgh than he did with the Rays. The Rays are like the ultimate platoon organization. You're the Pirates fan, though. Like, maybe you're more keyed in. Like, is he still going to be in a platoon, or are they going to allow him to hit against lefties?
There's no better option behind him. You're going to put Nick Gonzalez in over lefties? I don't see it.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I said to Doc, and Doc is like, you never know. It's like, well, I guess maybe like Horwitz. So you get Horwitz in there every now and then.
Nobody you feel better about. And he's
it's like
he's a bad defender. I mean, this Pirates defense could be really, really bad. And maybe I'm not saying he's 100%. I don't think he has any chance of like 155 starts, but if they're platooning him, like it's not a better player behind him, maybe defensively a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. He's a little bit old and outside of the home run ceiling, he hasn't had a ton of ceiling. 260 expected batting average last year, 27% K. So it could get ugly like as he ages too. I don't know if he's the best like age curve dude. And again, he doesn't hit lefties well, just a 317 slug on them last year. Probably better than that in the past, but limited upside, but safe bet. So it kind of fits your points league thing. I have him a lot lower than this myself, but
yeah, though I would draft if I was in a straight up points leagues, I would be drafting JJ Weatherholt ahead of Lau because I fully expect JJ Weatherholt to hit like 280, 360 or 370 OBP. That dude can take walks. He's got an eye and he's not going to strike out. So in points leagues, I'm probably picking Weatherholt ahead of Lau. And then even in Roto, it's pretty close, this matchup here between Lau and Weatherholt. Because I expect Weatherholt also to go like 15-15. Like, in my opinion, the NL Rookie of the Year this year is going to be coming down between Sal Stewart and JJ Weatherholt. That's going to be like the matchup to watch. Already calling NL Rookie of the Year, first week of spring training. But like those are going to be the two major guys to watch, in my opinion, because I don't think Connor Griffin is going to break camp. If he did, then maybe he, then that's going to be the favorite, I guess. But JJ Weatherholt, 15-15, 280, 360. But it's just like, I don't know. The Cardinals lineup is not very good. So like runs and RBI, like it depends on where he's going to hit. If he's going to hit like second or first or something like that, then maybe he'll get like 80, 85 runs. But if that happens, he's only going to get like 50 or 60 RBI because the lineup is not great. So I don't know. As far as like counting stats, he's just not going to be there. And Lau is probably going to be Lau's cleaning up for Pittsburgh. So what's he going to get? Like 80, 90 RBI probably, right?
Yeah. To your Rookie of the Year thing, they do have odds out. Connor Griffin plus 400, Weatherholt plus 425. I think a lot of people would be surprised to see them too close. So your bet would be Sal Stewart at plus 950, I guess.
Yeah, look, you got some pitchers on here, McLean, Bubba Chandler. The pitchers, I feel like only win Rookie of the Year if like the hitters suck, or if they have to just like completely ball out. You got to get like the only way Nolan McLean is going to win is if like Weatherholt and Sal Stewart both bomb, and then McLean pitches like 180 innings, gets like 17 wins. Because for whatever reason, the baseball writers still care about wins. So he needs like 17 wins, and then he's got to get like 200 Ks. Otherwise, there's no chance.
Yeah, Mizurowski was like a minus 300 favorite or something that like when he was being named to the All-Star team, and it was so obvious. Like, okay, it was Baldwin and Augustine Ramirez, and I picked. I don't think I bet on it, but I was like, this like plus 1200 on Augustine Ramirez is crazy right now. I was wrong because it was Baldwin, but it was funny to see how fast Mizurowski fell. Like, so easy for those guys to fall out of it, but. Yeah, good point. Jackson Holiday here. Of course, I'm not nearly as optimistic about Weatherholt as you. You just seem, you prospect guys just think it's going to happen right away. But Jackson Holiday, Hammett bone, missed time. This is not updated for that, right? You would have bumped him down.
Yeah, I mean, like, how much time is he going to actually miss, though? I saw a report that said he still is expected to be ready for opening day. But
okay, well then I saw a report that said he was.
That's him being.
Not,
maybe that's just like being super optimistic or whatever. But
the timeline seemed to make it
just
like
6 to 8 weeks,
right? So it was right on schedule. Like you could have pushed a little bit. So yeah, it's not really.
Yeah.
I guess you don't worry too much about the missed time as much as does it take away all of the limited power he already had. I mean, I don't know about that stuff, but
Yeah, it always he's for like 3 to 4 months. This is the kind of the thing with handmaids is the next 3 to 4 months after you get the surgery, you're gonna have you're gonna have quote unquote sapped power, right? So
maybe.
instead of hitting like last year, you had 17 home runs, and maybe this year you're like, okay, he's a little bigger, he's a little older, maybe project him out for like 21, 22 home runs, something like that. I think he probably still ends in like 13, 14 homers. Like he's still gonna probably get close, like more than 10, maybe like 15 be his max. He runs more. Like he was very bad at running last year. Like 11 times caught stealing is pretty crappy. But in the minors, he was a better runner. So like maybe he runs, it's like 25 steals, and maybe he just like leans into contact because he's like, look, I'm not gonna hit for as much power this year, so let me just like lean hard into contact. So that can happen. Like he'll probably still hit for a much better batting average than he did last year, 242 batting average. Like this guy was projecting out as like a 280, 270, 280, like 70 grade hit tool type guy.
Yeah.
So, like, I expect still him to have a very good batting average, to get on base, steal some bags, and put enough homers up that is not like a dud at the position.
Yeah, does I think you were drafting him mostly for steals anyway, with power being like kind of a bonus, I guess. Is
Yeah.
this so it was a right hand. He hits lefty and throws righty. Does that make a difference with this hammer bone stuff? Like, does your power come from the bottom hand on the bat? I don't know. I don't.
Well, yeah, since it's his right hand, that's the one touching the knob, and that's
Yeah.
where you're getting your most impact when you hit is from that
Yeah.
bottom hand. So
So that could be even a little bit worse, but I don't know. I'd probably let him go. I don't think he has like game breaking upside to where I won't draft any of them and I'll be super bummed about it. Jose Altuve, you have him at number 10, and he might be up to number 8 now, I guess, with these injury stuff. So another interesting one. I mean, man, this is just such a hard position. It makes you want to just like either take Jazz or Cattell, I guess, right away, or just like completely punt it, because I don't like any of these middle guys. Altuve's hard to trust for sure. Speed's down to 99.
He's been hitting for way more power. Like the last 5 years, his power has just like really upticked. So like he's just one of these guys. There's like a lot of these guys who age, like Joey Votto, for instance, where they get older and they're like, okay, my bat speed isn't what it used to be. So I'm not going to hit for the average that I used to hit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try to crank bombs now because I have such a good eye. And I'm like Altuve is one of the better hitters of our generation, right? So it's like the dude definitely knows like what pitches he can mash. So it's like he can just look for the right pitches and try to pull them out. And especially in Houston. So I still expect him to kind of do something similar to what he did last year. He's going to be 36, so maybe it's a little bit worse, but his BABIP was lower last year compared to normal. So I still kind of expect 260, 270 batting average. Maybe he hits for less power. He had 26 bombs last year, so maybe he's like 22 bombs. He's not stealing nearly as much, 10 steals, probably still something like that though. So maybe a little less power, but I kind of expect a similar season to what he had last year. And like that's where you put him against like Brandon Lau, and you're like, okay, Brandon Lau has higher power upside to me, and that's kind of why I give him the edge. Is like he could still hit 5 to 10 more bombs than Altuve. So that's kind of like what pushes him ahead of Altuve for me at this point in time. And he's also younger; he's 4 or 5 years younger, so he's got that on his side too.
Yeah, I guess the batting average could bounce back for Altuve. He hit 311 and 295 before last year, and then he hit 265 last year. I don't have the BABIP in front of me, but you said it was lower. And
283 BABIP, and his career BABIP is 326. So
he can come up in that. I mean, yeah, you could get 24 homers, 10 steals, 280 out of him, which would be pretty great. But it seems like it's gonna fall apart soon. And I don't know. I probably don't have him high enough, but he's not someone to completely avoid. Still do things, and I think the Joey Votto comparison is really keen there. He's just been he knows what'll work and what he can do. Pull a bunch of home runs into the Crawford boxes, and that's kind of what we saw last year. So, but yeah, just a mess here. Ugly. Not a lot of conviction here. We go to the next 5 in your rankings: Gleyber Torres, and there's Kevin McGonigal, Nico Horner, Brett Beatty, and Matt McLain. So.
Yeah, so in this grouping here, I'm kind of assuming that McGonigal's going to probably get something like 400 plate appearances, somewhere in that range. But again, like he's bumping up to number 3 in this. Second base is kind of not good. So like I'd bump him to number 3 if we find out that he's going to break camp. And depending on your format, again, JJ, you may want to rank higher because second base just isn't that great. Gleyber Torres, kind of interesting, kind of boring. Like he's actually not bad, but he's just like a boring, like like what are you getting with Gleyber? It's just like it's a filler. It's like, okay, I don't want a 0 at this position. I want to I want to get some stats. So let me just throw a guy in who's going to throw up 260 with 15 to 20 bombs and like decent run and RBI totals. So that's all you're really going to get from him. He's kind of done the same thing in back-to-back seasons. Like literally in 2024, he had hit 257, 2025, 256, 15 homers and 16 homers, 4 steals and 4 steals. So like he's kind of like doing the same thing where you're like, okay, like at least you know what you're going to get with him. Like he stays healthy. Like he's always been pretty healthy and stays on the field. So it's just kind of like if you're like, okay, I missed all the good guys. Let me just get let me get a stat filler. That's Gleyber. Like most people, like I said, or we talked about earlier, they're gonna have Nico ahead of Gleyber. I just don't love that. Like I'd rather like that. That's how much I don't like that profile. John is in like a points, especially points leagues or whatever. Like I'd rather just take the 16 the 16 bombs, 80, and 260, and bank that instead of having like 6 homers or whatever Nico's gonna do. So I don't know. I just don't like that profile. But Beatty, this is a name to watch on this list. I really like Brett Beatty. I think there's going to be a lot of value that you can get in Brett Beatty because they filled all these guys that like they brought in Semien, they brought in Polanco. It's like they got all these guys in, and then everyone's like, okay, where's Beatty going to play? He's going to DH. He's going to play first a little bit. Like I don't know what's going to happen to Beatty. He's going to play in the outfield. But I think that the bat is too good for them to just like not play Beatty because he really did make strides last year. He was really good last year. And John, if you want to throw up on our tableau, I don't know if you have it up. But if you want to throw up his second half, like Beatty had a really good second half last year. So we'll wait for you to throw that up. And then Matt McClain, number 15 here, added 12 pounds of muscle, best shape of his life. He's got the endorsement from Tito Francona saying that McClain is their second baseman, locked for second base. So I kind of like that. But yeah, you got Beatty's stats up there. Look how he finished the season. He had a really strong August and September, especially August, but like he finished the season pretty strong. So like I'm kind of in on Beatty as like a really good upswing guy who I expect to make further strides.
Big raw power. He always was like the AAA dude, hitting the balls super hard, putting up EV numbers that you thought would translate really well. And it's, they like him. It seems like he's well ahead of Vientos on the pecking order, so he should play. But significantly harder now with, they brought in 2 guys to block him and Vientos with Bichette and Semien. So I like Beatty too. I'm not this high on him, but it really is just category stuff. I mean, you're saying Torres over Horner, like you can't do that in a roto league. Like Torres goes.
No, not in a roto league. I guess you can't. It just it really depends on format and just like how you build your team. So
yeah, McClain's still like a 2020 threat. I guess we saw that really nice rookie year in 2022. Is it 2 or 3 now? I don't. What was that?
23. I want to say.
Him and Ellie came up at the same year. In 2023, he hit 16 homers and stole 14 bases in 89 games, so that was looking great. But there were some red flags. I mean, a 29% K rate, but still skills, and he's pretty cheap this year. And if you're getting the nod of him getting the chance at the very least, he'll get some homers and some steals. He can do that. So I like that upside there.
He has a career 330 BABIP, and if you look at his career average 249, I feel like that makes sense, right? Like the 2023 where he hit 290, he had a 385 BABIP. Now he does have he did have, I think he was leading the league in sweet spot percentage that year. So he's just barreling everything. Like basically he's just making good contact on everything. So you're going to run a high BABIP if you can do that consistently. So I think he kind of is that. Like if you just use his career number and assume maybe you get a little worse than that, maybe you get like a 240 batting average. If you have a 240 batting average with a 2020 player, that's pretty solid. Like I'll take that over a lot of these other guys.
Yeah. Yes. How about? Well, I guess that clears it there. We mentioned everybody. I'm waiting for the name Otto Lopez to come up. Let's see if it's in the next screenshot here. We're at the number. Is this right? Luis Garcia.
Yeah, 16 through 20 here. So I've got Luis Garcia Jr. here, 16. And this is basically like he's the next Glaber. Like he's basically the same type of guy as Glaber Torres, but he's just maybe a little less consistent because he is. I mean, like he's a good hitter. Like don't get me wrong, and I thought he was going to be better than he has been. He's 20. He's going to be 26 this year, so he's been around for a long time. He steals a little bit more than Glaber. So if you want some steals, he'll steal more, but he's also not going to hit for as good of a batting average. So maybe like Garcia more than Glaber just because of that. But I think that he's not going to put up the same run in RBI totals. He's not going to get the same counting stats. So I kind of ding him a little bit. I mean, the Nationals are a pretty bad team. Yeah, like
18 homers, 22 steals, and a 282 batting average in 2024. He was really good in Roto.
Yes. Yeah, but his career batting average is 266. So like he's probably more like 260 hitter than the 280 that he had that year. Last year he had a 270 BABIP, so it was not a good BABIP. And it probably will positively regress. So it's probably going to be better. And he most likely will hit for a better batting average than he did last year. But yeah, and he'll probably go 15-15. So
might sit against lefties, but you said the Nationals are not a great lineup around him. Maybe not as many guys to take away playing time, but he's been a platoon in the past. So
yeah, lower counting stats there. Xavier Edwards is your poor man's Nico Horner.
Yeah, and I have him at number. Where's mine? I've got Xavier Edwards up at number 5 in Roto. So this is I don't know why. I mean, I just hate all the guys behind him until you get. I don't know. Like again, you have to build in. He projects for 4 homers, so you have to like pair him with Judge or something to like make up for that, and that's a problem. So if you start your draft with Corbin Carroll or whoever, then he's immediately off your board because, but tons of steals, good batting average, and good amount of runs especially if the Marlins can improve a little bit, but not a good points league guy to say the least. He's pretty useless in points because he doesn't get on base and the steals don't matter that much there. So
64 power fScore might be one of the worst in baseball. Yeah. Number 18 is Brendan Donovan. You see the tag needs to be switched to Seattle. So I actually like him more. Yeah, I like him more after this trade. St. Louis really sucks for lefties. So him going to Seattle, because a lot of people think, oh, Seattle's a pitching park, blah, blah, blah. But it's not going to be any worse for him than St. Louis was. And he's going to be hitting at the top now of a much better lineup. He's going to have like I don't know is J-Rod going to lead off or Donovan going to lead off? But he's going to have a better lineup around him. That's for sure. So that's only going to help his counting stats. And for him, it's like one thing is he has trouble staying healthy. As a Cardinals fan, like I know this, he's only had one full season where he stayed healthy so far. So he has some injury issues every now and then. So a lot of people will think, oh, he's super consistent because you just look at his WRC plus and it's basically the same thing every single year. But his games played, like he's only played in 150 games one time in his career so far. So you are going to get a good batting average, and you probably will get like 15-5, like 15 bombs, 5 steals. So you're not going to get a lot of like homer steals, but I think you are going to get a lot of runs, and you might get a decent RBI total in that lineup. And one of the benefits of him is that he can play like 4 or 5 positions. So like if you're in a deep league, it's really nice to have that position eligibility. And especially like if you're in like, I don't know, a points league and you can get the hits, you're not getting negative points for strikeouts because he doesn't strike out. He gets walks, so he gets on base. So he's really good. He's like a much better real life player than he is a fantasy guy. But I like him more after the trade.
Yeah, 15-5. I was going to call you on that because he's never done that, but that's basically his 160 game average. So if he stays healthy, that's about what you get. That's not good in Roto, but again, points leagues, you're looking for more hits, walks, runs, stuff. Like doesn't matter that much, but I don't really like him. But it's a compelling argument. The multi-position stuff, it's not on most sites. He's second base only. So you're coming in with just that, and it seems like is he their third base? I mean, what is he in Seattle?
He's going to play third base for them primarily. Okay. And he should have outfield in most. He played a decent amount of outfield last year too. Okay. I have him in an Otnu league, and I've got second short and outfield in that league with him.
Really? That's really that must be a 5-game thing or something then.
Yeah, I think Otnu is pretty similar to Yahoo, so that means I'm sure he has the same thing in Yahoo. Next on the list here is Jorge Blanco. Polanco, something to keep in mind with Polanco is this is like an every other year guy. So like if you're drafting based on last year and you're a Mets fan and you're like, oh yeah, Polanco's awesome, 26 bombs last year, man. Like this dude, like the year before he hit 213, and then 2023 was good, 2022 was bad, 2021 was good, so like 2020 was bad. So like this guy literally every other year, 2019 was good, 2018 was bad.
2023 wasn't that good. He only played 80 games, but yeah.
Yeah. So this guy's an every other year guy where he's good. He's good one year, bad the next. So based on the trend of his entire career, he was good last year. That means he's probably going to be bad this year. So sorry, but I don't know. Like this guy has been around since 2014. So we have a pretty decent track record of this every other year thing for him. And I know it's kind of weird. Like maybe that's like, I don't know. Is that analytics or is that narrative street? That's like that fine line between those two things.
That's like the gambler's fallacy or something like that.
Yeah. But I'm just not. I mean, like I'll take him in a league if you get a discount on him, but I'm not gonna like go after him as being like, oh yeah, he's gonna be in this awesome Mets lineup now. He's gonna get 25 bombs from second first base eligible in the Mets. No.
Yeah, the best case scenario was last year, and it still wasn't all that great. 26 homers, 265 average, 6 steals, like whatever. I don't need that bad. Like it's fine. But you see his K dropped from 29% to 16%. Like I think that's coming back into the 20s. So and he's old. I mean, he's not a young guy. So I think the price is like you're paying for last year, and I don't think you're gonna get that. So I won't have any of him either. Marcus Semien, my boy here for Roto. Maybe more because I think he's got like 15, 2020 kind of upside. Maybe he gets out of this weird park thing that was going on with Texas and blows up. So if I'm not getting one of the top guys, my kind of strategy at second, at least in Roto leagues, is to just like wait, take Semien when I think I can get him. And if it's not working out, I'll figure it out on waivers or trades or something because I think a lot of the league will be doing that as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Mets actually do with their lineup. Right now, Roster Resource has Semien hitting 5th. But Semien is like always leading the league in plate appearances. So are they really going to hit like a guy who's been a leadoff hitter his whole career and like has like a ridiculous amount of plate appearances? Are they really going to hit him 5th? I mean, I don't know. Maybe, I guess. Like right now, the lineup says Lindor, Soto, Bichette, Polanco. Like I don't know. If I'm building this lineup, I might do like Semien, who's a righty, then Soto, and then Bichette and then Lindor at cleanup because Lindor has the most power out of all those guys besides Soto. And generally, the Moneyball rule, what they teach you is that your best hitter should hit second, which would be Juan Soto, and your second best hitter should hit 4th, which is Francisco Lindor. So if you're going to do smart lineup construction, that is probably the way to do it. But who knows? Like maybe Lou Bob hits freaking leadoff even. Like who knows what the Mets are going to do?
Yeah, I think most likely gets a shot at the top of the lineup because that's all he's been. Slow starter always, but last year he really got going. I don't really like to do the slow starter thing, but it's kind of a career trend for him. Just from May through July, he had a 740 OPS, 250 batting average with 11 homers and 11 steals. So he was at pretty much a 2020 pace there with a 250 batting average. So he was kind of back to who he was like a couple of years back. And it's just this park thing in Texas, so strange. I think it'll be a good thing for him to go to a different park, a different team. So I'm not saying he's going to be like the guy that 3 years ago you were taking in the second round, but I think he can have a nice bounce back season and be really, really nice value pick for him. But 35, it could all go pretty poorly as well. So,
yeah.
All righty. Next.
All righty. Yeah. So Semien too. One last note on Semien. Yeah. Like, would it really surprise you if he went 2010 again? Like, I mean, that's probably This dude has 100 runs. This guy's 100 runs in 4 of the last 5 seasons. So,
yeah, I don't think he's coming out of the lineup. That's his thing. You know, he's the everyday player. It didn't happen last year. Finally hit the IL for like the first time ever, but certainly a durable guy. So we're opening it up here, and we're going to your next 10, which gets us through the top 30.
Yep. 21 is Colt Keith. 22, Bryson Stott. 23, Jet Williams. 24, Travis Bazzana. 25, Otto Lopez. 26, Christian Campbell. 27, Adele Amador. 28, Jeff McNeil. 29, Casey Schmidt. 30, Nolan Gorman. We got about a bunch of shots in in this tier. Like Colt Keith is pretty consistent. So you can kind of, and so is Stott. Like Stott, again, is like another poor man's Nico is what you're going to get from him. He's just like a much worse batting average version. Maybe get a couple extra bombs, but he's going to get a worse batting average and not steal as many bags. But he's going to kind of do a similar thing. Like in some leagues, you might actually want Stott more than Xavier Edwards. If you're like in a non-roto league, I'd probably take Stott over Xavier Edwards just because Xavier Edwards is like all steals and what else? His steals and batting average and what else? But Colt Keith is like almost like a poor man's like he's almost like Donovan. Like he's basically gonna do the same thing as Brendan Donovan, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at some projections like
15, maybe not as many steals, but like 15.5 or something like that. 260.
Projection, Keith's got they're both like 13, 14 homers and a handful of steals. Keith has 2 steals, but a little higher batting average. He hit the ball harder last year too, which I thought was good. I mean, this will be his 3rd year in the majors, right? So still like 24 years old, like plenty of growth opportunity. I don't see him getting squeezed out of the lineup, but it's like I don't know. I guess if he's really struggling because they got McGonigal and Anderson and McKinstry and Baez and all these guys, so maybe a little tiny bit of worry about that. But he's been like solid, and I think he could even get better. So I like him as well.
Yeah, and then we've got a little duo here of Jet Williams and Travis Bazzana. So Jet Williams was originally slated to be the 3rd baseman on roster resource for the Brewers. It wouldn't surprise me if he broke camp, but it also because the Brewers are one of very few teams that actually kind of just does whatever they want. I feel like they don't follow any like set plans or like they don't follow like what other teams do. They kind of just do their own thing and they're like, oh, let's do this, or like they're just a very unique organization. And they did just trade Caleb Durbin, and as we noted in the last couple of podcasts, Jet Williams is very Caleb Durbin-esque. So maybe they just want to, they're just going to slide him right into what Caleb Durbin was doing, or maybe they get a Super 2 extra year out of him.
They signed Rengifo, right? So
yeah, they signed Luis Rengifo to play 3rd. But again, Luis Rengifo is a guy who plays like 5 different positions. So he also could just be their super utility guy. Like really, like if Jet Williams just blows everybody away this spring, then would it really surprise you if they give Jet Williams a starting spot somewhere? Like for me, if I'm building this team, I'd probably because Turang's a very good defender. And so is Ortiz. Maybe you want Ortiz at 3rd, Turang at short, and then you slide Jet into 2nd. And then, I mean, like Jet can play outfield too. He's played all over the place in the minors. And then you got Luis Rengifo as your super utility guy, just playing, whenever someone's hurt or they need a rest day or whatever it is. Travis Bazzana with the Guardians. Bazzana, it's like he was hurt last year, so he didn't get the PT that he needed in the minors to get this like break camp talk that like Weatherhold's basically guaranteed to break camp at this point after they made the trades. McGonigal has a better shot than Bazzana right now breaking camp. But Bazzana could be an early call-up guy still because the Guardians, the only guy blocking right now is like Gabriel Arias, and he's not that great. So Bazzana could break camp, but I feel like it's a 5% shot or something like that, only 5 or 10% shot. I think it's more likely that Bazzana is up after Super 2 or is like a June, July type call-up. But I think that he's going to be good enough when he's up that he's going to outproduce some of the boring guys. So that's kind of like why I gave him into this spot. You got Otto Lopez here talking about some of the boring guys. We got Christian Campbell also.
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead on Otto Lopez.
You have a problem. I don't like Otto Lopez either, but this is insane. 25. I mean, projects for 12 homers, 14 steals, a 263 batting average. I mean, he's like, if you look at the projections and their like auction values,
I don't believe that.
It's Roto again, but he's like the number 13 second baseman by the projections in Roto, but he's good.
I just don't believe that. Look at the fScore on the power. 85 power is not a 15 homer guy or whatever. Like that's like a 10 homer guy, like 8 to 10 homers, something like that. So, I mean, like I'm not buying
15 last year, buddy. 143 games, 15 homers.
Yeah, but just because he did it before doesn't mean that it's a sticky skill. You know that. So, like, I'm not buying that home run total from him. 10, 15, okay, sure. 260 batting average, 270 batting average, 10 home runs, 10-ish home runs with 15 steals, okay, or 20 steals even maybe. He'll probably steal more. He probably should steal more. I expect him to be closer to his 2024 line than his 2025 line. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, 6 homers and 20 steals in 2024. He missed. Well, I don't know if he missed games, but he played 117. Might have been in the minors or something. Don't remember. But not great. I'm not saying he's a target of mine or anything like that, but a little bit underrated, I guess, if you just want a filler. And this is a decent position to do this kind of thing at. You just mentioned Williams, Bazana. Maybe if you're in like a shallower league, maybe you can end up with picking up Weatherhold or McGonigal or something. Like there are dudes that can fill second base later on. So if you just want to worry about other things during the draft, pick up a McNeil or a Lopez, whatever, last round, Keith, whatever, and just like stopgap it to a prospect or somebody else, see what happens. Like I think this is a pretty good position to just like punt away, not worry about that much in the draft because it's pretty gross.
Yeah, to be honest, if you like my strategy on second base is if you don't get Jazzer or Marte, then you just like wait. Either you jump on JJ or McGonigal, or you just like wait forever. Like just because all these guys are like if I'm tiering this position out, I know we've been talking like groups of 5, but like really you have elite tier of Jazz and Marte, and then you have like solid tier from like Terang to like McGonigal or Warner. And then you've just got a bunch of guys. Then you have like one glob of like 20 dudes that it's just like, okay, what kind of stats do you need to fill? And that's it.
Yeah. And you might also get some dude on your team playing third or short that ends up grabbing second base eligibility in the middle of the season. Like pretty much every shortstop can also play second. Maybe that's an overstatement, but it's a position a lot of guys get moved to.
Okay, so we're to Christian Campbell now. Christian Campbell, we talked about on the Doc Pod, and I brought up his Tableau page on that. And you could see in the minors, besides the EVs, he was actually really good in the minors last year. He's like terrible. I don't know what happened to him, but he had terrible exit velocities last season. And that's what really made him like not good. So there's a very good chance that he can bounce back. Like everyone's like, oh, look at his bat. Like, I think you made a post about it. Like everyone's like, look at his batting stance now, blah, blah, blah. But it's like he doesn't have a spot. So where is he going to play? I know they paid him. So he's already been paid. So they're going to want to play him if he's good. But if he plays, like, is he just going to be a super utility guy? Because you've got pretty much every position locked down. It's either someone gets hurt and he fills in, or he becomes a super utility guy. Because like right now, there are super utility guys like IKF. You got Rami Gonzalez. Like he can fill that spot, I guess, if he's good. So like there's a spot on the major league roster for him. But not in the starting lineup, and that's going to affect him if he's just a super utility guy, right?
Yeah, 799 OPS in the minors last year, so still nothing great. We got like totally duped on him. At least people like me did. I thought he was like the prospect guy to have last year, and he was just terrible. I don't know.
He
you're
could
right.
be like a Brendan Donovan. I mean, like he could do that.
Yeah, but you're right. Like even we look at what he do in 2024 in the minors and pull this up. I guess it was never that great. 20 homers, 24 steals in the minors. That's pretty good. 558 slug, but I don't know. He's not a superstar talent guy. And you're right. Like the Red Sox have a lot of options and they should give him a chance. You would think that they would want him to be the guy, except over like IKF or Romy Gonzalez or something like that. But I'm not really much of a believer. The tweet was like that I was making fun of was like, I get it. Everybody's excited. It was him in batting practice hitting a home run, pulling it. And someone was like, oh my gosh, is that pull side power for Christian Campbell? I was like, dude, it doesn't count in batting practice. Like anybody can hit any major league player can hit a homer to the pull side unless you're Chandler Simpson or something. Even he can probably still do it. Like we're looking at batting practice and trying to make things just like next level crazy. But I don't know. You know more about Campbell than me with the prospect background, but
yeah, he just like lost. I don't know what he had. He lost his EVs. Like he had a 439 OBP in 2024, which is insane. Yeah. Like I remember I listened to a podcast and Marcel Meyer was on there and he called him he's like, we call him Barry Bonds. They're like on the team we all call him Barry Bonds because the dude is just always on base. So I mean, I don't know. He just had a really bad year last year. Who knows if he got the contract and just like milked it? He doesn't seem like that type of guy. He actually seems like a really good kid. Maybe there's just too much pressure on him after getting paid. That's probably like what happens. Sometimes that happens to these guys. You give them the contract, they feel like they have to perform immediately. Like they break camp, there's tons of pressure on them, and then they just fold under the pressure. They're behind, right? They're like, oh, I've got a 100 batting average. I need to fix this, and then just puts more and more pressure. And some guys just can't handle that. So.
He's a little like he doesn't look like a power hitter, right? He's kind of a small guy. He must not swing very much. 42% swing rate in the majors. So maybe that needs to come up and be a little more aggressive, because you can put a high OBP up in the minors. Like we've talked about a lot with a lot of these weird walk rates on the pitcher side, but that applies to the hitters as well. Like if you just don't swing in the minors, you'll take a lot of walks and your OBP will look good. But then you get to the majors and major league pitchers are like, I'm not going to walk you. Like you got to prove it first. I'm going to throw you strikes, and I can throw strikes. So OBP stuff doesn't always translate in that way, and that seems to have got him. But yeah, it's a better buy this year than last year. You're getting basically a free tag on him, and maybe you can do some stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Next, we have a couple of interesting names here. You've got a Dale Amador, who is supposed to break camp as the second baseman. Like they have other guys around too. So you've got like Rock Riggio and Ryan Ritter. So if like he's bad, I guess they can replace him with someone. But Adele Amador, pretty interesting prospect. He was actually pretty good in the minors last year. And I almost think that he's a guy who's suffering because they called him up too early. I think they had a bunch of injuries in 2024 when they called him up, and then he was terrible. And like he has a career 176 batting average of 51 games now in the majors. So that's pretty bad. 148 at bats only though. So like he hasn't had a lot of at bats, but in the minors last year, 11 bombs, 20 steals. I think he could. And like he's always in the minors hit for like 300 batting averages. Like he hit 303 in AAA last year, and that's in 80 games. He did that. So like obviously like you play the game of, oh, just double that and you got a 20-40, like that's what people are going to do, but you shouldn't do that. I think in the majors you might have like a Jeff McNeil type with him. And I have him above Jeff McNeil, even though Jeff McNeil is going to the bandbox at his Sacramento. So that might actually help him age a little more gracefully here in a couple of years. But I think Amador, he's turning 23. He's going to be trending upwards. And Jeff McNeil, 34, going to be trending downwards as an older guy. So like I think I would take the gamble on Amador over McNeil here between those two guys. But I think they can be kind of similar.
I loved him in DFS. It didn't work out, but he was a speed guy in Coors in the middle of the year last year. He hit 89 balls in play in the majors, had a max EV of 103.5, which is pathetically low. That's like what you want as your 90th percentile, and that was his max. That's not real. It was only 89 balls in play. Then I'm sure he hits the ball harder than that, but probably not much power. But Coors
110.8 max in AAA last year.
All right, so he definitely a decent buy low there too. McNeil, pretty much the perfect situation. He was like not someone you would draft in any kind of league, and then he gets moved to Oakland, or the Athletics rather, and now he's probably mostly an everyday player with benefit and home runs and stuff. So in your deep leagues, he's decent. Still not saying he's a 12-team league guy or anything like that, but he's a little bit underpriced probably.
Yep, 29, Casey Schmidt. It's kind of like people won't notice, but he actually had a pretty good second half last year. So he kind of like bounced forward. So Casey Schmidt, underrated. Like he's not supposed to start right now, but he does play a bunch of positions. So he's a nice guy to have on a bench in a deep league. Nolan Gorman, if you're drafting Nolan Gorman, you're just taking, I mean, you just missed everybody else and you're just taking an absolute shot that he finds it. Like Nolan Gorman's probably going to hit 220 with like 20. He's going to get playing time this year because the Cardinals don't have any. Like who else is going to play, right? So he's going to get playing time this year, and he's going to hit against lefties because they don't have anybody else. So it's like, okay, yeah, he's probably going to hit. Expect a bad batting average. Like best case scenario is he turns into like a Max Muncy, right, where he hits like 220 with like 30 bombs. But like that's your best case scenario. Worst case scenario is he's atrocious and hits 200 and completely ruins your team because of his terrible batting average.
Why could he do it in 2023? He hit 27 homers, slugged 478. He still had the strikeout problem, but at least he was getting the power. Slugged 370 last year, so I guess pitchers figured him out.
He could still do that, but what happens to him is he's like he gets really frustrated. Me as a Cardinals fan, because I'm watching him all the time, you can see he just gets so frustrated. He strikes out a lot, and then he's like Tyler O'Neill. When Tyler O'Neill would strike out on the Cardinals, he just wouldn't care. He'd be like, okay, whatever, and just walk. I'm gonna go lift some weights, bro, and like go back down to the gym or whatever. Nolan Gorman, every time he strikes out, he gets so pissed off. And if you're striking out 30%,
I was gonna say
you're gonna be mad all the time. I just feel like he's just like always mad. Like, he's just like always PO'd, and it's like playing the game when you're always pissed off is just not gonna. It's not a good mentality. It's not a good place to be. He needs to I don't know. He needs a little bit of Cody Bellinger, a little bit of Tyler O'Neill, like smoke a J and like go lift some weights or something like in between at bats.
Yeah,
I don't know, but he needs to chill because he's just like always mad.
It's a bad OBP, but it's a better OBP relative to the league than his averages. So boost it up in OBP leagues. Let me give you my, it's on the, if you want my second base stuff, it's already written for paid subscribers. Here's my like yellow, red, green on the screen. You have to turn it on. I'm not going to go through it, but just for people actually
Dude,
watching.
I'm colorblind. I don't understand any of that.
Are you really?
No.
Okay. So somebody, we talked, you know that. Yeah. Maybe I should just ignore it, but somebody did complain that I tweeted this out and they were colorblind, and they're like, can you guys, like, fancy analysts, stop doing color coded stuff for like the sake of the colorblind? I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm sorry you're colorblind, but I'm not, like, you're just gonna miss that tweet, bro. Like, I apologize. I can't accommodate everything. I'm heartless, but it's on the screen. My favorite guys to go, at least in roto leagues: Jazz, Horner, Semien, Beatty, Keith. Lawler made my list. He's not on yours. I guess he's more of a shortstop outfielder, but he does have some second base. I like him, but we'll get to him at shortstop, and we probably already talked about him in the outfield or something. Or did we do outfield yet? We did, right? Yeah, we did.
Yes.
So,
but we didn't. I don't think we talked about him though. But he is going to play outfield. And we will definitely talk about him when we talk about shortstops.
Yeah. All right. So we'll get that next time. So that's an hour and 5 minutes. So anything else here before we wrap it up?
No, just that people need to subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse. Go subscribe. Press the button now. Subscribe for Tim. Subscribe for Doc. Subscribe for John. Do whatever. When you subscribe, though, it would be nice if you write a little note and be like, I like this, or I don't like this. Like, provide some input. And make sure you review. We don't have enough reviews. Please review the podcast. Review us on. I do read the comments if you comment on YouTube. So I do see people do comment on YouTube. So I do read the comments. Even though everyone, Joe Rogan's always like, don't read the comments, but I do read the comments. So whatever, if you want to post something there, do it. And then what else? Oh, make sure you buy the prospect package, $29.99. We're getting into draft season here. Actually, we have the Scott White Dynasty League draft is happening on Sunday. And so I think I'm like 3 drafts in so far on like some of our deeper leagues, but I do have Scott White Dynasty League draft coming up on Sunday. So I'm excited for that. And then I think we have TGFBI is starting soon, right, John? Like
not in that one. I bailed out of that one.
But. Oh, you bailed? Loser.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
You had to be in a league with me, work a league with me somehow.
I just wanted to go to the next level where I don't even spend my time on free leagues, like that's the kind of level I want to, that's the aura I want to put off. Like, I'm not going to be bothered unless there's money involved. That's not the actual case, but it sounds cool.
Makes sense. I like that. And guess what? Spring training starting up. So I'm going to start going to games. I'm going to games next week.
Oh, that's sweet. So we'll have to see. Some guy named Ronald Rosario has homered for the Red Sox. So there's your first spring training home run. I think he's against a college pitcher, so maybe you don't count that, but it's going. We're going.
Yeah, I'm going on Friday next week. If you're going to be there, let me know. I'm going to be at Cardinals Mets on Friday next week. Yep.
All right.
All right. That's podcast, everybody. Peace out. We see you next time.